Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about two things. The first one is that there's been an update in the George Floyd case. Some video footage of a body cam of one of the police officers has been released to the public. So that's quite an interesting thing to talk about, and I'm going to give my insights to that. I'm then going to talk about some of the animal cruelty that actually happened in the BLM protests. There's been a recent case of a pig that was found and it was abandoned by some BLM protesters, so I'll get into that as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the video footage of the body cam from the police officer, and then I'm going to give you my insight.
Can you watch that car? Just make sure no one goes in it. I hear you, but you're going to face the door right now. Listen up, stop.
I'll do anything. I'll do anything y'all tell me to do, man. I'm not a musician, man. I'm not. You can ask him. He know me, you know.
That side.
God, man, I won't do nothing like that, y'all. God, it's my heart. Look at my wrist, Mr. Officer. I'm not that kind of guy.
Mr. Officer.
I'm not that kind of guy.
Stop.
Please. I'm not that kind of guy, Mr. Officer. Please.
Face away.
Please, man. Don't leave me by myself, man. Please. I'm just claustrophobic. That's it.
Well, you're still going in the car.
Anything sharp on you? I won't do nothing to hurt y'all, Mr. Officer. No, sir. Nothing. Why y'all doing me like that, Mr. Officer? Please, crack it window for me and stuff, man. I am claustrophobic for real, Mr. Officer.
You got him?
Could you please crack it for me, please?
Yes, I'm
Remember my
cracking.
name. Stay with me, man.
I will.
Please stay with me, man. Thank you. God, man. I didn't know I was going to do that, man. Please, man. I didn't know my hand. Please. I don't want none of y'all, man. Nothing.
You got it inside in your pocket real quick on your shirt?
I'm listening. And I understand that people do stuff.
Alright, he's good. There's guns, whatever. There's nothing wrong.
Okay.
Grab a seat.
I'll
I'll roll the windows down, okay?
Please, man. Please don't take a seat. I'm going in, Mr. Officer. I'm going to go in. No, you're not. I got to go in. Take a seat.
Grab a seat.
Mind, I don't believe me, Mr. Officer.
Take a seat.
I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not that kind of guy, man.
Take a seat.
Y'all, I'm going to die here.
Take a seat.
I'm going to die, man.
You need to take a seat right now.
And I just had COVID, man. I don't want to go back to that.
Okay, I'll roll the windows down. Hey, listen.
Dang, man.
Listen.
I'm not that kind of guy.
I'll roll the windows down and
Please,
you put your
man.
legs in, alright? I'll put the air on.
God, look at that. Look at that.
Now you're listening.
Look at it.
We can fix it, but not while you're standing out.
Okay, man. God, y'all do me bad, man. Man, I don't want to try to win. I don't want to win. I'm claustrophobic. I got anxiety. I don't want to do nothing to them.
I'll roll the window down.
So just from watching that clip, I think it was very clear that the police don't really have enough mental health training. I think that he was like completely high up on drugs or something. He might have also had mental health issues. And the police didn't really act appropriately. They weren't as nice to him as they could have been. They weren't as patient with him as they could have been. So I think it's very clear from this and the Tony Timber case that we need to put more money into police mental health training. And I am completely astounded by the Black Lives Matters message that we need to defund the police. I mean, they had this idea that they would basically have community volunteers trying to sort out domestic violence cases. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, if I was a community volunteer in one of these areas, I wouldn't know how to sort out a domestic violence case. What if that guy got violent with me and pulled out a gun? What if that guy tried to beat me up as well? I wouldn't know how to deal with that situation. And I think that situation is best left in the hands of the police. People who are able to properly defend themselves and who have, training to defend themselves as well. And this kind of leads on to the next part of my video. I really don't think the protests were worth it. I don't think it was worth the shops getting vandalised, the animal abuse, the abuse of people as well. I mean, people actually died in the protests. There was one police officer who died, which was died simply trying to protect one of the shops. And now I'm going to get into the next story, which is about a pig that got abandoned by Black Lives Matter protesters. Okay, so the image you can see on the left is actually a pig that was abandoned in Portland by some far left SJWs who think their microaggressions are more important than animals' lives. What they were going to do is they were going to publicly cut off the pig's head and burn it at a protest. Now, one of the things that shook me about this was I never realised that when you see, animal parts being used at protests, there was one quite recently with one of the BLM protests where someone had a pig's head. I literally thought that those pig's heads and those animals that were being used were some kind of slaughterhouse byproducts. But now I've actually realised that they're not slaughterhouse byproducts, that they're actually killing these animals in order to use their parts at protests, which I find completely disgusting. I mean, I don't see that there's any difference between eating meat and using parts of animals at protests, personally, as a vegan, but dismantling a pig's head publicly at a protest, that's going to cause a lot more harm to an animal than anything that a slaughterhouse could do. It might take them like half an hour to get the pig's head off, and he would be like bleeding out, screaming in pain. I just can't believe that people could be so cruel, and it's just like, I just can't believe it. And this kind of gets onto my second point, which is the fact that so many vegan activists have been silenced from just speaking out about the BLM. Even just for saying that as vegans, we don't have to support the BLM, or that we can focus solely on animal rights. For example, there was someone called David who is an animal rights activist on YouTube, and he just literally said that vegans have every right to just focus on animal rights. That's all he said. I'll link the clip now.
A year later, and that's exactly what happened. The reason that I was fired so coldly, so harshly, without any chance to even speak for myself, after working so closely with this organization, after being through so much with them, what was it? I made a video. So let's be fair, what did I say in this video that was so horrible, disgusting, inappropriate, that it justified firing me after such a long time of working with the organization? What could it possibly be? I'll tell you exactly what I said. In this video, the offending video, which is still on my YouTube, I'll put the link up here, I said that people who fight for human rights, they're great. It's great if you do that. People who fight for non-human rights, it's great if you do that. People who fight for both, that's amazing. Please do that. And I said that if you are someone who only wants to fight for non-human animals because you see that they need you more, and you see that they are suffering the most out of all the different species and, beings on the planet, I said that's okay. I said that you shouldn't feel guilt-tripped into speaking about human rights if your passion and your focus, you want to put it into non-human rights. Basically, if you feel the non-humans need you more, and that's where you want to put your 100% focus, you shouldn't feel guilt-tripped if you don't want to speak for other issues. Basically, in a summary, that's the bit that really apparently was wrong. Save interpreted this as an anti-intersectional message, and that was enough to fire me immediately. But the following 2 days after this video, I posted 2 more videos like...
And the most astounding thing about that clip is it actually got him fired from his job. And I think that we need every single vegan voice in there, and we need people to be able to stand up against animal cruelty wherever we see it, whether it be at a Black Lives Matter protest, whether it be at a kosher farm, wherever it is. We need vegan activists to stand up and speak up for the animals, because they're the ones that matter. Our politics don't matter. Our our politics don't matter. Our beliefs don't matter. What matters are the animals, and we should be standing together and standing up for them together, not firing someone over a very simple comment about the fact that vegans don't need to talk about the BLM. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I really hope you like this video. And yeah, I'll be bringing more content soon.